Hello there, this is SwiftCat. Welcome to HostFlags. This video is all about how to develop car racing game using SpriteKit in iOS. This is level 1 course with 2D, and this video covers the basic concept of game development with SpriteKit. And this is my second episode of level 1 game development. If you haven't watched my first episode, I have provided its link in my video description. Check it right now. Now, in this episode, we will continue from where we stopped in episode 1. Due to tight schedule, I'll be going to take one more episode to complete this level 1 game development and provide you full source code of this tutorial in the next episode. So let's head over to it. So in the first episode, what we are looking was we were developing the game scene with zip file, and inside that we tried to move the car uh, when the game starts, and this roll strike will be going continuously, and we can move the car as well. So that's what we did in the first episode, and here in this episode we will continue with game scene. And also what we need to do is I'm going to create a new file which is for game menu, and that game menu will be started when we run the app. That game menu will be showing at first, and if you click the button start game, it will be going to start the game then, and the score will be displayed after the collision. So I'm going to create a new file which is for menu scene. Actually it's an SKS file scene. So I'm going to click here a new file, and I'm searching for the SpriteKit. Here you can find the SpriteKit action, SpriteKit particle file, SpriteKit scene, and SpriteKit the tile file set. So I'm going to select here this SpriteKit scene and click next. So here I can give some name to my file. So what I decided to give the name is, let's say, menu scene, which is we are going to set here the menu at initially when the game starts. So let it say menu scene. I'm going to create that file. Here we go. I have here this menu scene, and so let's make more space here. And so here you can see the colors we can change as well. And so I'm going to change the color something like this. It'll be nice. I think it will be pretty nice. Alright, so this is our menu scene.sk's file. So what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to bring here two stuffs which is required for image, and two labels which is for start game, and another one will be for to show up the scores. Alright, so let's click here this object library in the plus button. So I'm clicking here, and I'm going to select here color sprite, and I'm keeping it in the center of this scene. This is our scene file, and I have kept a SK sprite node at the middle, and let's say now the position will be of 0, and Y also will be of 0, and the size I would say 750, and so the edge height will be of 1334. Actually you can set here the size at different based on the phone size. We will do that later, and as of now let it be like this. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click here the select here the texture which we need for that. So let us say I have here the car game. Yes, that's the right image. I want to bring it over here, and when the image comes, it's shrinking a while bit because the image doesn't fit into that. So let's make a little bit adjustment inside this so it'll fit inside though. This will be okay, I guess. Alright, the next thing is what we are going to do here is I'm going to bring here a label. So I just click here the plus button for the object library, and checking a label over here, and I'm placing it inside this. And what I'm going to do is the text will be of kind. I want to type it here as start game, and I want to customize this color, this fonts, and also let us say I'm clicking here this font, and I'll be giving 60 of height, sorry, size. You can bring the size bigger as well by dragging this slider, and let's say Helvetica new and bold, and let us say of 80. So I have here the start game, and I'm going to name this label as start game itself. And next is I'm going to click another label which is to represent the score, to show up the score actually. So I'm clicking here on the label, and I'm dragging it over here just beneath the start game label. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type here the score, and a default of 0, let it be the initial. And font, I'm going to select here the same as we did before, this Helvetica Pulse, and I'm going to drag here the size as well to 80. I think this will be okay. Alright, and then I'm clicking this SK label nodes, and I'm going to name here as score label. Alright, so that's all inside this menu scene.sk's file. So we do have a SpriteKit SK node, which is for the texture with the car game, which is actually the background image, what it means. And then I did a start game label, and named it as start game. And another one is for a score label, and I named it as score label. And we made the customized fonts and all these stuffs. That's all inside this menu scene.sk's file. So what we need to do next is I'm going to head over to this game scene, sorry, this game view controller. Here you can find this when the app runs, when the app starts at the initial stage, we have given here that we need to go to the file name game scene, and it was actually the game scene, the scene is to start the game actually. And so the game scene is the scene which we have in the SKS file. This is way of car racing. It will start running at the beginning. So we want to make this a menu scene to show it initially, and we'll be having a start label when the user clicks here. I want to start the game hereafter. So that's what we are going to do. So inside this game view controller, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this as a menu scene. So when the app runs, it will show up first this menu scene, and then we will head over to the game. That's what it means, simple as it is. So let's run and check what it does when we change this file name. And then I need to mention that if you're using this menu scene.sk's file, after editing these all stuffs which is for the SpriteKit game, all these things, which means the label, all these stuffs, don't forget to save the file, which means that command S will make it. Just click command space so that it will be saved. In some cases, if we just edit this and if we are going to then another file, and if we come back, the edits which we did already will be disappeared because it's not saved. So there's a problem that in the Xcode sometimes it's will be saved automatically, but in some cases, so make sure that you click commands S to click this to save this file actually. All right, and our app have one. All right, here we go. So we have initialized our scene with Racers Mania game development, or we are missing this label We will check this here. SpriteKit label. Alright. Here I'm going to delete the file, this project, from my simulator, and I will try to run it again. And let's check. Here we go, and I have the simulator with the started with the start game and score label. If I click, it happens nothing. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file which is for a zip file, and I'm going to name it as menu scene.zip file, and I'm creating that file. So what exactly I'm going to do is the identity and the type is menu scene.zip file, and inside this we are going to write some codes which is for when the user touches the game scene, start game, I need to redirect to the main scene which is for to start the game actually. Alright, so in order to do that, I'm going to first of all I'm going to do here is import SpriteKit, and I'm going to create here a class which is for menu scene, and it will be of kind skc, and inside that I'm going to create here variable. Actually it's the variable which we need to represent for the start game label. So let's say start game is equal to sk node label node, because it's of kind label node, so I'm just using this. And the next one is the score label, and it will be also of kind sk label node, and actually it's nothing but it's representing, it's like a label, UI label for a game, sorry, iOS mobile, and we use certain classes which is for representing these strings, so that Xcode will be knowing what we are doing, what we meant to do is actually. Alright, and then next I'm going to do is I'm going to create another variable which is for the game setting. Game actually it's for the game setting, and I'm going to name it as settings dot shared instance. Actually the settings we will write this about the setting, and next I'm going to write here is override. We will come back to this setting what it means actually, and I want to do is did move to SK view. Inside this, what I'm going to write here is self dot anchor point will be equal to the CG point of x and y. X, let it say 0.5, and y will be of also 0.5. And then I'm going to do is a start game will be equal to the self dot child node, and I want to name this as we already gave the name, that's a start game, as sk label node. And the same thing I need to write for this score as well. So I'm just copying this and pasting it over here, and here we need to change the name as score label, and I'm going to go the identifier as well, the score label. And then what I'm going to do is the score label dot text will be equal to score of, at initial let's say be score of 0, and we will go to the settings about that later. And then I'm going to write next is override touches began. Touches began, which is for when the user touches at the UI. That's what it means. So touches began. So inside this, for touch, it touches, and inside this, what I'm going to do is the let touch location is equal to the touch dot location dot self. And next is if at point, we need to give the Xcode that if at point, the point here is the touch location, which is for when the user touches, there will be a location inside the menu C. If it's in the name, equal to the start game, which means if the user touches inside this start game label, that's what it means. What I want to do is I want to uh, move the scene, which is from menu scene to game scene. So that's where the game starts. So it will be the game scene of SK scene. Here we are letting the file name, which is for the name for the scene is game scene. Alright, and then game scene will be dot scale mode. We are scaling actually we are letting the phone know that whether it's we can give an aspect fill or fit whatever, and the view of kind dot present scene, that's actually the scene gonna present over here, and the game scene of translation. Inside this it will be of SK translation. It's actually transition with the doors open horizontal. You can find the options for vertical, all these terms. I want to be in the horizontal, so and that's why I mentioned here, and here will be of time interval, which is showing that at what time in the interval in between. So I'm going to set it as interval of 2 seconds. Here it should be double equal. All right, I'm going to create a new file in order to give this setting shared instance. So I'm clicking here, and so what I'm going to do is create a new file. It is also a Swift file, and the Swift file will I'm going to name it as support.swift. That's what it means. And inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class which is for settings. So let's say class settings, and inside that I want to bring a static let constant, which is for shared instance, and it will be for the settings. And then I'm going to create a private init, and here is nothing happens. It's actually we are letting the Xcode know that it should have a war score or a, and initially what we need to set, that's what it means. So high score will be equal to 0. And if you go back to this menu scene.zip file, and this error should be gone at this time. All right, now let's run and check what it does. I have stopped that, and here let's head over back to this main scene.sks file. So what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to create here the subclass, which means we didn't create the subclass. So if we click any button, it won't work. So I'm going to here the subclass is menu scene, and click enter. Inside this scene, you can find here subclass at the top. So we need to mention the class name. So I just made the name menu scene, which we did already here, and I put 2 breakpoints over here to check whether it's entering or not. And from here, let's run and check what we have done so far. It have entered inside this did move. All right, and it's entered inside this touch screen as well. From here, let's click this, and it's saying that its touches have begun. And if I click go, it's started the game already. And again, we saw that this score label is missing. We will check that in the next episode as well. And that's all in this episode. And I'll be going to take one more episode to complete this level 1 game development, and I will provide the full source code of this tutorial in the next episode. So be subscribed and stay tuned for the next episode. So that's all in this video. Thank you for watching.